to Eye on Matteson, your source for local news and events. Recently, the news has been abuzz with information on Amazon's Prime Air. That's right, Matteson residents will have the option of having their packages delivered by drone. Such exciting news. Today, we're joined by Josh Brundage, Prime Air's Senior Manager of Commercial Operations. We will take a deeper dive into Prime Air and what it means for our community. Hi, Josh, and welcome to Eye on Matteson. We are excited to have you here, and no offense, but probably even a little bit more excited that Prime Air is coming to the village.
Totally understand. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here as well.
So let's start with, tell us a little bit about how Prime Air works and what are the benefits that it's going to bring to the citizens of Matteson.
Yeah, so Prime Air represents Amazon's ultra-fast delivery option.
Yes.
So what we do is we partner with an existing Amazon fulfillment center that's already here. We basically use them. They have over, in this case, almost 20 million items available for customers. And then we partner with them. We set up our operation just outside the fulfillment center. The customers are then able to take advantage of that super wide selection of items. And then if you're within an 8-mile radius, we then can provide that ultra fast delivery. So basically the process works just like a normal shipment. The fulfillment center will pick it, pack it, but the difference is then instead of sending it out to some other delivery method, it comes out to us. And then from there, we load it in the drone. Drone goes to the customer's house, comes down to about 10 feet, drops off the package at the point they designated on their property, and then returns back. And so in this instance, if it's an eligible item, which is 5 pounds or less, and fits in essentially a large shoebox size box, then you'll find out at checkout that you're drone eligible, and you can have your order when we start out in less than 2 hours, and we're going to continue to get faster.
Now, because I know you said ultra fast. So at one point, you know, the 2-day was ultra fast to us.
Right.
So now we're talking even faster than that. So what's the time benefit?
So you're right. So we went from kind of pretty soon to 2-day to 1 day to same day, and now here we are with drone delivery. There are some buildings that we're partnering with right now where we're delivering in less than 30 minutes on a regular basis. So our fastest click to deliver right now, so that means when the customer actually clicks the shipment and to get to the package is just a little over 15 minutes in some cases. Now, the offset here for the customers in this area, those speeds come from buildings that don't have quite the selection. So the advantage it's a little bit longer time, but the fact that we're really making millions of items available to the customers in the area with the fulfillment centers that we have here.
Okay. And why did you select Matteson? Because I know right now you're focusing on 2 suburbs where you're rolling this out, or 2 suburbs in Chicago. I know you've rolled it out different places across the U.S. So why did you select Matteson as one of the places where you're rolling out Prime Air?
So we partner with existing Amazon fulfillment centers, so we don't add any real footprint. We just kind of take over a little section of their parking lot. So once we identify a fulfillment center that is kind of a good working relationship with Prime Air, we want to partner up. And in this case, we already had a thriving, really well-performing building already here, a good customer base that was seemingly eager, Amazon shoppers and good customers, and so just made a perfect match. So here we are.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, I know for drones, there are always questions about, safety. And I know you've done a lot of testing. You've had to do a lot of testing in order to roll something like this out. So how do you ensure the safety? Because if you have drones flying over and packages being delivered, there's a safety question that people always ask, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course. So Prime Air, we are actually an FAA certified air carrier. Okay. So it's Part 135 is the rules and regulations that we abide by according to the FAA. For the base of operations, we work with all of the local, whether it's the city or a city council or whatever the providing body is, that we make sure that we're meeting all of the concerns and safety needs and zoning requirements for the actual site. And then everything else is governed by the FAA. So we're under the same type rules that any commercial air carrier would be. Our drones are, I think, you got to see one. I think they're much larger than people expect, and that goes into the safety case as well, the redundancy. The other advantage that we have is we manufacture the drones. We design the software for the drones. We are essentially not only the operator of the drones and for the delivery part, but we also are the entire, we get the parts. We manufacture the drones in Seattle. They're manufactured by Amazon employees. The software is written by Amazon employees. That allows us to, if we do discover something that needs to be changed, we can react incredibly quickly, and we can scale that across the entire Amazon fleet very quickly, as opposed we were not dealing with third parties or everything else. So the fact that the entire program is Amazon run also gives us a much more agile and much more thorough safety case.
Right, and you mentioned the size of the drones. I was able to see the drones yesterday, and when people think drones, they're thinking, you know, what you're buying at, you know, one of your big box stores, or, you know, or even Amazon itself. But these are huge.
Yeah.
These are huge. How much does it? I mean, how much does the package have to weigh, or, you know, what's the limit of weight on the packages for the drones?
Yeah, it's definitely not your off-the-shelf hobby drone
It
that
is
you know
not.
most people will be playing with. So the drone itself weighs a little over 80 pounds with the battery and the package in it. It does fly close to 70 miles an hour when it's in its cruise phase, going to the delivery point and returning back. Again, the package itself. Right now, we limit it to a 5-pound item that would go inside the box. If you do have multiple items that still fit the drone threshold, though, you may get multiple drones to your house to cover your delivery. And also, you know, a lot of items that Amazon sells are quite small and light, and so you can actually order multiple items, and if you know as many items as you want, as long as they still fit within that 5-pound in that box, then you can get your drone delivery in one shot.
Okay. And now, do the drones operate at night, or how does it work with bad weather? Because, I mean, this is Illinois. We're going to get the snow, the rain, the sleet, the hail, all of them. So how does that work?
So we don't fly at night right now. So we do only fly during daylight hours.
Okay. Right.
So that is a big question everybody asks. The other question in regards to weather, obviously just like anything else that flies, there are limits. We do have some wind limits, but they're roughly in we'll say the 25-mile-an-hour range that we can still fly into. We can fly in light precipitation, so as long as it's not heavily raining, we can still fly. We do have a pretty low temperature threshold as well that allows us to operate in winter conditions. We did just launch going into our peak season 2 sites outside of Detroit, one in Hazel Park and one in Pontiac, and so we learned a lot about the northern
weather.
Midwest winters, and we're going to apply that certainly to the Chicago area sites this winter when we come up. So
okay, and so can we? Because you may have the same rules as baseball games. You know, when lightning strikes, then drones are
our program and Amazon in general, obviously the safety of our associates, the safety of the public, the safety of our customers comes first before everything. And so yes, there are instances where if there's lightning in the area, things like that, we do have to kind of alter course a little bit, but we do have a backup. So if you place an order and then the weather does turn bad in the meantime before we can get it to you, we do have a ground delivery option that we will still stay within that same time frame. Not as cool, not as fun as seeing the drone show up, fully admit that, but we still want you to get your order in time. So we do have a backup plan.
And so what about privacy concerns? Have you gotten questions about the privacy concerns with having a drone operate?
Yeah, I would say outside of the safety questions, privacy is definitely one. And again, it goes back to what people think. They think of a commercially available drone where somebody's watching a video feed on their phone or watching it on a computer screen somewhere, and that's not how our system works. So the drones are totally autonomous. They do have cameras on board, but those cameras are simply to help the drone navigate the world, and they do not stream any video back off the drone. So the people that do monitor the drones while they're in flight, they're basically looking at a moving map. So they're looking at altitude, airspeed, where the drone is in the world, the health of the drone, things like that. But they are not watching any kind of live feed. So the drone uses that information totally on board just to help make smart decisions. So when it's in flight, it is able to detect and avoid. So if there's an obstacle or something where it shouldn't be there or is unexpected, the drone's able to perceive that with its camera system and actually maneuver around it. Same thing when it gets to your delivery location. Let's say when we signed up the property, there was nothing in the backyard. But since then, you've done a bunch of landscaping, and now you have a fire pit and a pergola and some string lights, and it's much more busy back there. The drone will get there, and it'll use its camera system to recognize that this may not be the safest area now because of all these different obstructions that are there. And so it may not deliver your package because of those reasons. So it'll come back to us, and then we'll get it to you via ground, and then we can get you that feedback and say, hey, sorry we weren't able to complete the drone delivery, but here's why. But same instance too, if the drone comes to a delivery point and you're outside or a child's outside or a pet is outside,
Right.
it will not drop the package if there's somebody in that area. So it'll actually make an attempt to maneuver a little bit out of the way. If that child or dog or whatever follows, it will not. It will still not deliver the package. We don't want to play
Right.
catch the package.
You know, sometimes Fido wants to.
Yeah, exactly. And then it'll come back again, same reason. So,
Okay.
so the drones does have cameras, but they are not used anything other than that flight for the drone itself to help it make smart decisions, mostly for safety and for the service for the customers. But there is nobody watching. When we're in flight, we're not even really looking down. So a lot of people ask about, the drone's going to fly over my house. I don't want to. The cameras aren't there for that. They're only looking down as we're coming down into the customer's yard,
Okay.
And then obviously landing back at our facility. So, privacy case, Amazon takes right behind the safety of everybody.
Yeah.
The security of the information of our customers is paramount as well, and so we abide by those same tenets.
Okay. And so I know you kept saying the yard.
Mm-hmm.
So in order for those, in order for them to get an Amazon delivery
Mm-hmm.
using Prime Air, they have to have a yard. Is there a certain amount of space?
Not necessarily. Yeah.
Okay.
So what we do is we take aerial imagery of a parcel, and then we identify potential delivery locations on that parcel. And that's before we even launch the site. So that's all done in the pre-work before we launch. So if you were to order a Prime Air package, you select Prime Air as the ship method, you'll get an aerial view of your property. Whether it's a multifamily unit, apartment, townhouse, whatever it might be, or a single family home, you'll get that image, and you'll have predetermined delivery points that you can select which one you'd like to drop it off at. So a lot of people, if they have a backyard, they really prefer the backyard because of the privacy reasons, and there's no concern about the security of the package.
Right.
Especially if let's say you're at work and you're ordering something, we may beat you home, right? And so maybe you want it in your backyard waiting for you. Driveways are an option. One common fault is people forget they pick their driveway and then they have their car there when we get there. So that's one that we remind customers a lot about, or the front yard. Really, the drone itself, you'd be surprised. It needs about we'll call it ballpark, but it's not a very large cylinder that the drone needs to be able to descend to make the delivery. And so it doesn't require this huge wide open yard or anything like that. We work around trees, we work around power lines in a lot of instances, but that's why ahead of time we select those delivery points, because those are the most likely ones to succeed, where there's going to be less obstacles and things like that. So you'll see that when you bring up your property, and you'll be able to pick which one of them you want the drone to drop the package off.
Okay. Now, how far away from the fulfillment center are you currently working within the village of Matteson?
So it's about 8 miles from the fulfillment center. And so, in areas like this, that does encompass some different townships and villages and cities and things. So, but the idea is the base of operations is at the fulfillment center, and then about an 8 mile circle from there is where we service within drone delivery. And the customers will know because they go to check out. If they have an item that's drone delivery, it'll be one of the options when you select how fast you want it.
Okay,
it'll be
so
one
that's how they'll know.
It'll be that top option, and the customer can select it. And if they are eligible but they don't want drone delivery, I don't understand that, but that's fine. Everyone has their own opinions, and they can still select all the other Amazon delivery options that are out there.
Okay. And so for other things, like, are there any noise issues or any issues like that people have to be concerned about?
It's a common question. I think, again, this goes back to a lot of people think drone. They think the very small, very high-pitched kind of hobby drones that you hear a lot of. The size of our drone and the size of the propellers actually helps make that noise not only quieter, but also a much more, we'll say, less grating, more of a pleasing sound versus, I always use the reference, you could have a baby crying and a baby laughing, and they may be the same volume, but one's much more enjoyable than the other, right?
That's factual.
Kind of that principle. So, what I usually reference is the drone, when it's in cruise and traveling to the delivery, you almost have to be looking at it to kind of associate that little noise you're hearing with what you recognize. It almost blends totally into the background.
Okay.
It's at its loudest when it's ascending and descending, going up and down from the delivery especially. That period only lasts about 40 seconds all in, and most people compare it to a lawnmower running outside or a vacuum in the next room. Not very impactful, and it's a very short period as well.
Yeah.
And again, most people, it's kind of part of the experience, right? They want to come see the drone come down, and it's kind of, hey, here it is.
They want to listen to it.
They want to
like,
be able to know
hear
it's
it,
there. Yeah, it's part of the
right.
full effect. Yeah, but
okay.
it is something that we're very conscious of, because again, we want to be able to provide a positive experience and service for the community, not not be impactful in a negative way. And so it is something that we're conscious of. But overall, it's a relatively low impact thing.
Okay. So I know Amazon is known for its innovation. You and I have chatted about it
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Are there any other things that are coming to either the village of Matteson or that Amazon is going to announce that you can talk about?
No. Well, I mean, I am sure there are. Yeah. I am busy right now worrying about making this drone stuff happen. So yeah, but it is, this is something that, and you mentioned like new technologies and things. Yeah. We are literally making our service better every day. Okay. And so there's small improvements, based on customer impact, based on the Detroit winter I referenced, right. and dealing with that. And so there's an entire team in Seattle whose main focus in the world is to try to make the deliveries to this community as perfect and as successful as possible every time, and that's definitely what we're focused on right now. Okay. I'm often as surprised when cool stuff comes out from different departments of Amazon. But I can
you're like, oh,
yeah,
really?
That sounds really neat. Yeah, but I can say from the drone standpoint, we are we're very confident and we're very happy with the solution that we have right now with the drone itself and the system and the customer experience. But even with that, there's always minor tweaks and improvements, and customer feedback and some things that go, hey, we didn't think of that, but obviously maybe a customer gave us a suggestion that's something for us to improve on, and so we're definitely always working to make our service better.
Okay, and so final question: how can residents learn more about Primare?
Yeah, so if you actually go onto Amazon, there is on the website there is a Primare tab that you can go to, okay. And we can it kind of gives the overall of the service, of what's available, of how it works, what to expect. There's videos on LinkedIn as well, okay. Of how kind of it works in the real world and what to expect when delivery happens. And when you go to make a drone delivery, it walks you through the process of what to expect. So it walks you through of where to select your delivery point, how long you should expect to wait for the drone to arrive, what the delivery experience is like when your package arrives, and what to expect. And so because it is so new, because it is something that we're hopeful a lot of people will be trying for the first time, yes. We do try to walk them through the process to make it as comfortable as possible. Okay,
and I know I said that was the last question, but I should tell our residents, when will it be available here?
So right now we're looking for early summer.
Okay.
Just a couple things on the construction side that we're working through to make sure that we're good to go there. Okay. But literally the drones are being manufactured for the site as we speak, and we're going to start the hiring process here shortly for flight monitors, ground handlers, and maintenance technicians in the community. So all in net, we'll add about 100 jobs between the two sites, and that's in addition to the 6,000 roughly that work at the two sites now. So we'll be adding a little bit more, and you'll start to see some of those job postings as well. And so we hope obviously a little delay sometimes with the weather and getting construction started and when we want to get moving, but
everybody in Illinois knows about weather and construction delays, so that is not new.
Late spring, early summer, and as we get a little closer, we'll definitely have a little more definitive date on what day we want to start being able to ship customers packages out. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Eye on Matteson.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for joining us. And until next time, we will share more information about what's happening new and exciting in the village of Matteson. Thank you.